It's Friday night. Your phone buzzes. Come out with us. And you feel it. Not excitement. Not FOMO. Dread. Because you'd rather be home. And you've stopped apologizing for it. This isn't about people who are lonely. This isn't about isolation or avoidance. This is about people who genuinely prefer the quiet of their own space to the chaos of the world. Who find more joy in a Saturday at home than a crowded restaurant. Who recharge in solitude, not through socializing. And society tells you something's wrong with that. Friends say you need to get out more. Family worries you're becoming a recluse. The world acts like staying home is something you do when you can't handle going out. But what if you just like it here? What if home isn't where you hide from life, but where you actually live it? Today we're exploring the psychology of people who love staying at home. And if you've ever had to defend your preference for your own space, this is for you. Let's start with what everyone assumes. That if you love staying home, you must be avoiding something. That you're missing out. That you're wasting your life. That something happened to make you this way. The questions come, don't you get bored? Aren't you lonely? Don't you want to experience life? As if life only counts when it's happening outside your front door. As if the only valid existence is one filled with constant activity, social engagement, external stimulation. But here's what they don't understand. You're not bored. You're peaceful. You're not lonely. You're content. You're not avoiding life. You're living it exactly how it feels right to you. And the assumption that loving home means something's wrong, that's not about you. That's about a culture that equates worth with productivity, connection with constant socializing, and happiness with being anywhere but still. So what's actually happening psychologically? It starts with understanding that brains process stimulation differently. For extroverts, dopamine increases with external stimulation. Crowds, noise, activity, these things energize them. Their brains are wired to seek external rewards. But for introverts and highly sensitive people, the system works differently. External stimulation drains you. Too much input overwhelms your nervous system. Your brain processes deeply, which means you need more time to recover from social interaction, even enjoyable ones. This isn't a flaw. It's neurobiology. And staying home isn't avoidance. It's regulation. You're giving your nervous system the environment it needs to function optimally. You're honoring how you're wired instead of forcing yourself to operate like someone you're not. Psychologists call this your baseline stimulation need. Some people need a lot. You need less. And there's nothing wrong with either. Here's what people miss when they judge homebodies. Staying home isn't empty. It's full of things the outside world doesn't offer. It's uninterrupted time to think, to create, to read, write, build, learn without constant interruption. It's space to exist without performing, to be exactly who you are without adjusting for anyone else's energy or expectations. It's the deep rest that only comes from true solitude, not the exhausted collapse after overstimulation, but the restorative peace of being in your own energy. Your nervous system finally settling, your mind finally quiet. It's freedom from small talk, from social navigation, from the constant low-level stress of being on. You're not monitoring how you're coming across. You're not managing anyone else's emotions. You're just here. And for many people, home is where their most meaningful work happens. The thinking, the creating, the processing that requires uninterrupted focus. The world dismisses this as doing nothing. But you know it's actually where everything important gets done. But let's be honest about the difference. Because not everyone who stays home is healthy. And that distinction matters. Healthy staying home feels peaceful. You're choosing it. You have energy for the things you care about. You engage with life through books, projects, learning, creating. You're nourished by your time alone. And when you do go out, you can. You just prefer not to most of the time. Unhealthy staying home feels like hiding. You're avoiding out of fear. You have no energy for anything. You're numbing, not resting. Scrolling endlessly, binge-watching shows you don't care about, sleeping too much because you can't face the day. You want to go out, but can't make yourself. The key question is, are you moving towards something or away from something? Toward peace creativity, rest, or away from anxiety, people, life itself? If you're a homebody, you're moving toward. If you're depressed or agoraphobic, you're moving away. Both might look the same from outside, but they feel completely different from inside. And you know which one you are. So how do you handle the judgment? The people who keep trying to get you out of the house. The ones who act like you need saving? First, stop explaining. You don't owe anyone a justification for how you spend your time. I prefer staying in is a complete sentence. You don't need to prove you're not depressed, not anxious, not broken. Your preference is valid without a defense. Second, set boundaries without guilt. I appreciate the invite, but I'm staying in tonight doesn't need to become, I'm so sorry, I'm just really tired, maybe next time. You're not obligated to reschedule. You're not required to make them feel better about your no. And third, stop trying to convince them it's okay. Some people will never understand. They're wired differently. They need what you don't, and that's fine. But their confusion about your choice doesn't make your choice wrong. Here's what you need to hear. You're allowed to love staying home. You're allowed to find more fulfillment in your own space than anywhere else. You're allowed to be someone who doesn't need constant plans, events, socializing. You're not missing out. You're living according to your design. You're not antisocial. You're selectively social. You're not avoiding life. You're experiencing it in the way that actually nourishes you. The extroverted world will keep insisting you need to be more like them. But you don't. You don't need to force yourself to enjoy things that drain you. You don't need to apologize for needing what you need. You don't need to prove your way of being is valid. It already is. Your contentment is the proof. Your peace is the evidence. The fact that you're not lonely, not bored, not restless, that tells you everything you need to know. So if you're someone who loves staying at home, know this. You're not broken. You're not boring. You're not wasting your life. You're living it in alignment with who you actually are. And that's rarer and braver than most people realize. Because it takes courage to be different in a world that rewards sameness. It takes strength to honor your needs when everyone around you insists you should need something else. It takes wisdom to know that your version of a good life doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Home isn't where you hide. It's where you're most real. It's your sanctuary, your workspace, your haven. It's where you don't have to perform, pretend, or prove anything. And that's not sad. That's sacred. The world will keep trying to pull you out. Friends will keep inviting you. Family will keep worrying. And you get to keep saying no, not because you're afraid, but because you've learned something most people never do. That peace is found in alignment, not accommodation. You don't need to go out to live fully. You're already doing it, right here, right now, in the only place you've ever truly needed to be, home.